Welcome to the CraveCast. I'm your host, Eric Mack, and I'm joined today, as usual, by Stephen Beecham, Kelsey Adams, Bonnie Burton, and Jeff Sparkman in the CNET studios in San Francisco. And also via the magic of Skype, which we hope continues to work as well as it is right now. But from Australia, it's Michelle Starr!
And her cat.
And her cat.
Ollie.
Her cat, Ollie.
Hey, so once again, we've got some live viewers. If you want to join in on the conversation here, you can tweet at me at Eric C. Mack or at Crave at Crave. And we've also got the live chat rooms going on our YouTube and our live stream pages. And there's some folks in there right now. So jump in on the discussion. We're going to be talking about space today. Once again, I should also mention I'm live from Taos, New Mexico in the offices of the award-winning Taos News, my hometown newspaper and one-time employer. And because today we're going to be talking about space on the CraveCast, let's start with this image from the TaosNews.com. This is actually a shot of the Great Orion Nebula captured by an amateur astronomer right here in northern New Mexico named Gary Zientara, hopefully I'm getting that right, using his telescope on a hilltop in the beautiful Sangre de Cristo Mountains not far from here. So personally, I love seeing images like this that were literally captured by the retired teacher down the road, and then imagining what else is out there, what else we might discover with the far greater, scientific and technical resources we have available to us today on this planet. So on this CraveCast, we're going to talk about where we're going next in space. We'll also revisit the moon, including the things we found in Neil Armstrong's closet. And because we've got so many Star Wars and sci-fi aficionados on our panel here, we'll also leave some time to talk about the great characters and alternate universes that our obsession with space has inspired. But first, let's address the question that Mars One has been asking humanity: who wants to die on Mars?
Not Ed.
Not Ed, right?
Wait, is that it? That feels like is that a multiple choice? Can I send people? I can send people I don't want to live anymore to Mars, right?
Yeah, it could be like a reality show and the loser goes to Mars.
Okay, cool.
No, but people are competing, right? People are applying and competing.
Yes.
Yeah, so Mars One, who's actually doing this, they're a nonprofit based out of the Netherlands, and they're planning to build a permanent base on the red planet, and they're financing the whole thing through this weird mix of donations, crowdfunding, and by holding a bizarre reality show style competition to select their astronauts, who will then make a one-way trip to Mars sometime in the 2020s. You're not coming home. There is no returning from Mars with Mars One. The pool of applicants started at over 200,000, and this month was whittled down to just 100 finalists. Okay, so now the way I figure it, there's two questions we need to address here. Number one, will this actually happen? And I can answer that one right away. No, it won't. But most interesting, who are these 200,000 people who want to go die on Mars?
You know what would be such a great reality show, though, is if they made them believe that they really are going to Mars, and then
that'd be amazing.
like put them in like some sort of like simulation that they've actually gone into a spaceship, and then they're going, and then make them land on some soundstage and make it look like Mars, and then film that and just see how they like freak out and think it's the real deal. Because there's a lot of reality shows that, let's be honest, reality really is the farthest thing from the show.
Great.
So I kind of feel like that would
That's
be
not true.
I believe it or not, the real world's not about the real world. But yeah, I would love to see that. I really would. I think that would be great. But then again, I'm all for sending stupid people into space and then leaving them there. So if it does happen, I'm totally fine with that, because that helps the gene pool a little bit more.
They could do one with just training to be an astronaut.
Like Space Camp.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a Space Camp reality TV show? I feel like there was on Nickelodeon.
It was an awesome
or
movie.
Disney.
Awesome movie in the 80s.
It was a very awesome
It was a great.
movie.
Why don't they reboot that? That's a great movie. They
Because
should.
nobody could replace Leah Thompson. That's why.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Anyway, we've already tangented off into Netherworld. I guess the big question: would any of us go? Would any of us
would any
do
of you guys
this?
go? Bonnie says no. I say no.
I'm saying no.
Depends on what's on TV that night.
I find the Earth much more comfortable.
Yeah, I do too.
What's that like?
I like how Jeff's like, ennui wins. I'll go. I'm bored. I'm bored with this planet.
But how are they narrowing people down?
I don't
What
wanna
are the
live on this
criteria?
planet
That's what I
anymore.
want to know.
Yeah.
Well, they're going through kind of like a training camp sort of thing where, they'll be tested physically and mentally. I mean, literally, it is kind of a reality show thing.
that
They'll
would
go
count me out.
through different rounds. I mean,
Speed round.
do you guys even know anyone who would consider doing this? I mean, there's been some profiles on some of the people that have applied, and I mean, there's like, you know,
I mean, you can
married
go,
people with families. It's
you
crazy.
can
to
go
me.
to space. I think it costs.
I
I don't know
would
how
love
many
to go to
million.
space.
I don't know how many millions of dollars it costs, but it costs a lot of money, and you have to go through the actual NASA training. But they do take non-astronauts onto space missions. They've taken teachers. They've taken people that aren't. I don't know. At the top of my mind, I can't think of anyone that necessarily is not a teacher that went.
Still kind of blow up too often for my tastes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. I've seen
even
too many. My
Falcon
reality
X.
is based on all space horror films.
Right.
So I just keep thinking, I'm going to be the red shirt. I'm going to be the red shirt. I'm going to be the first person that dies or eaten or something.
Practicing my passive submission now.
Yeah. But I like
So-
the idea that there is a show, like they are trying to whittle down all these applicants that think that they're actually going to Mars. It's just kind of sad when they find out they're not, and they're going to have to go to, I don't know, Utah or something instead.
So we're all just basically cowardly writers who would never advance human civilization.
But if
it
you
was
guys
left up
go,
to
tell us
then.
all about it.
Yeah.
Well, we'd love to cover it.
It's not worth it to have a street on Mars named after you.
Yeah. I don't know. I just get claustrophobic easily, and also space supposedly doesn't smell that great, and I don't know. I don't want to go.
Were
We've
you
already
gonna
done
say,
an
Michelle?
article
I
about
thought it
that.
smelled like steak.
No, it smells like I thought it was like burnt hair and cinnamon and metal, like a goth club.
Michelle, can you confirm?
I don't remember. We wrote an article.
Smells. Goth club smell like that perfume called Poison.
Oh yeah, your categories.
Yeah,
Mi-
she
Michelle,
agrees with
would it-
everything I say.
Would you go to Mars? It's Australia seems like the kind of Australians seem like the kind of people that might sign up for that kind of a thing.
Similar landscape too.
Well,
And you're closer.
we've got a bit more gravity, so I'm kind of into that. No, I don't think I would. But there was a documentary a couple of years ago called Mars One Way.
Uh-huh.
And they interviewed a few of the people who had signed up for the Mars One mission. And it was actually really depressing. There was this one guy who he wanted to go because he just didn't have any friends. He didn't relate to anybody on Earth. There was another guy who had a wife and kids, and he was like, oh, yeah, I want to go to Mars. Like, it's my life's, mission to go to Mars. This is my destiny. Meanwhile, his poor wife's there going, well, I guess we're going to have to support him. There's not much else we can do. Like, it just...
I feel like that should come up in the first date. Like before you even get engaged, or you should talk about this like,
So, do you plan on going to space anytime soon?
yeah, like this should probably be something you bring up before you get married is, are you cool with me abandoning you to go to Mars and not come back? I think some marriages would be okay with that, but not all.
Well, what if we did it the way we've done every other manned space mission, where we figure out a way for you to come home? I mean, how would that change
That would be
things?
amazing.
Yeah, it'd
Yeah.
be great if it wasn't like if I didn't return to a planet of apes. I'd be totally cool with it. But as fiction's taught me,
Well, we
I
can't
could
we
be-
can't change the planet while you're gone.
As fiction's taught me, when I come back, it's gonna be all wrong.
Okay, everybody, hide. Let Bonnie just see the
Yeah.
apes. It'll be hilarious.
All the Furbacas and like 3D printers will have taken over
And hoverboards.
and hoverboards, and all the humans will be like corralled into like factory farms or something. Like I don't know. My my
Suppressing political
my
joke.
fear of things happening while I'm gone. I'm too paranoid to leave the planet.
I'd be afraid of things happening while I was there.
Like good parties.
Yeah, and it would always be like while I was asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You couldn't miss another Burning Man. Yeah.
Well,
It seems like it'd be trickier
that's
there.
all Mars is, isn't it? Or am
Yeah, I
I
guess
thinking?
so.
I guess I'm thinking Venus. I
Glow
don't know.
sticks, dehydration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. If there's one thing
Well-
astronauts should always bring with them is glow sticks
And Tang.
and Tang.
And we reported last year there was a study by some students out of MIT who kind of looked at the preliminary designs that Mars One has, and they predicted that people would basically start to die in like 63 days
Very
on
specific.
Mars.
Don't buy
Just
any
because
green
the-
Wow.
bananas, kids.
Yeah, the air system wouldn't work.
That's awesome.
Which is debated. But the point is, they did a crowdfunding campaign for $400,000 and didn't even get halfway there. I don't entirely think this is going to happen.
So
So
all those
I'm
people
not
who
sure we need to worry
applied-
about it.
The people who applied did not pay then.
I don't think there was an
Why
application.
did they show a really attractive woman and then they say never to return? It's so seductive.
Be stuck on a planet with a beautiful
I
woman.
know. It's like 50 Shades of Mars.
This is kind of the
All
ad
red.
for the. This is the ad for the reality show, right? Meet the Mars 100.
I don't know. It's like Mars Tinder all of a sudden.
I want to go to Mars not just to be a part of history.
I don't know.
Anyway, well, as romantic as making it to Mars might be for other people who aren't complete cowards like us, there's plenty of really smart people out there, like renowned Canadian astronaut and microgravity musician Chris Hadfield, who think it makes more sense to go back to the moon first. The moon might not be as sexy because we see it all the time, but as Michelle, you reported on recently, we're actually just now getting a good look at the other side of the moon, the so-called dark side of the moon, which, unlike the album of the same name, you don't have to be totally stoned to enjoy, from what I understand. Is that right, Michelle?
Well,
About the other side of the moon, not the.
Not the stone part.
Answer what you want.
If you sync up the Wizard of Oz
No
with the
comment.
launch,
it's not actually the dark side of the moon because it does get sunlight. It's called the far side of the moon because it's actually the face of the moon that we don't actually see on Earth. So as the moon orbits the Earth, it's tidally locked in place so that we only ever see the one side. And the other side, the far side of the moon, is what the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter has been checking out as it sort of orbits. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
pictures.
Eric.
There's a video of it down there at the bottom, Stephen, and it's kind of cool. And it sounded like basically there's more or different kind of craters on the far side than
different
what we
features.
see on the side that faces us.
I think it's so strange the moon doesn't spin; it just kind of hangs in one spot. I don't know.
Well, it does.
That always
It
trips
does
me out.
spin.
It doesn't spin at all.
No, it does spin, but its orbit is sort of locked to
It's locked to our planet
rotation.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So we only see one side of the moon forever, basically.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really obsessed with us.
the other side is making faces at us.
So Michelle, you mentioned things
Weird.
that are different about the other side.
Yeah, because that side sort of faces away from the Earth, it's sort of more vulnerable to impacts from asteroids and other stuff that's out there. So it doesn't have the big dark spots that the man in the moon or the rabbit in the moon or whatever you want to call it. That's got these big dark spots. They don't exist on the other side of the moon, and it's just got all these craters. It's just full of impact craters, basically.
I just
Stuff
like
from
to
space.
pretend that the other side of the moon we don't see is just completely littered with broken down satellites. Like the whole
Right.
thing looks like a Sanford and Son like junkyard of like broken satellites and like different ships that had parts and debris and just trash and like all this crap that we don't see because it's kind of like when you clean your room and you shove everything in the closet or under the rug. That's the under the rug side of the moon. So that's why I always
What we
clearly
did-
I have no evidence
Well,
at all.
I'm not letting you be in charge of cleaning the moon.
No, it's just, whatever you can't see for sure. I mean, we are seeing it now, but for so long we didn't. That I just thought that would be hilarious if you just went to the other side and it was just like crap everywhere.
Or the first
We
side could
did
be covered
find-
in sarcastic commentary on doings on
Yeah.
Earth, like the man in the moon
Right.
making faces. Oh, this is you.
Right. Well, the funny thing too, I mean, well, it's not funny, but there's so much space junk in orbit right now that you don't really know where that stuff's landing, and so it would be pretty sad if we were turning every planet into our own little personal junkyard because
That's what we're doing.
we
here.
just
Just
can't
this
be
one.
bothered. Yeah, I know. We need a little Wally to clean up everything.
Well, you know who had his own personal junkyard of moon junk, it turns out, is Neil Armstrong.
In his closet.
In his closet, yeah. So, Stephen, you and Amanda both covered this. There was some stuff that's now in the Smithsonian, but it was literally found by Neil Armstrong's wife in his closet
Yeah.
after he died. Stuff that went to the moon with him.
Yeah, I'd been in there for 50 years, 50 years.
And it's
just
officially
hanging out.
called the purse.
The purse, yeah, it was called the lunar purse or something like that, and
Yeah.
it was just meant to stow away
Well, that's
loose
official
objects
nickname.
in the spacecraft, and he just left it in his closet. And there's like cameras in there and all kinds of stuff.
Dead alien skeleton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. But But yeah, so they recovered it, and
Oh,
they're
that's cool.
they're here as all this stuff, and she lent it to the Smithsonian, So
Wow, that's awesome.
this is the purse.
She looks like the actress who would play her in the
It
movie.
looks like a pretty boring Birkin bag, actually.
Yeah, it's just a totally they call it McDivitt purse.
Of course they do. Ugh.
And it's just something he called it a bunch of trash. He's like, I don't think it's useful stuff, but
Right.
it's just things that there's a belt that strapped you in so you don't float away,
That's useful.
Yeah.
But there was a camera too. I mean, the camera seems like
this
a big
is
deal.
a really nice film camera that he used to document a lot of the trip.
Yeah, but nobody uses film anymore.
Yeah, 10 millimeter camera.
You
I mean,
can't
look
go
at
what
drop
kind
that.
of
it off
iPhone
at
did he
Photo
have?
Mat.
Yeah, what? But and like power cables, things that
Yeah.
just would power lights and just all kinds of random stuff. But it's pretty interesting. All this, this is a 6-pin. It looks like 6-pin plug. Just kind of random stuff that they found.
It's just weird that he took it home. Like, usually you leave that stuff at your desk at work.
Yeah.
And then
maybe-
didn't want it. I mean, my grandpa
Yeah.
would have been breaking in there and borrowing the tethers to use
Oh,
to
yeah.
fix up other stuff with.
Yeah.
and-
Well, that just makes
Yeah.
me think like how awesome Neil Armstrong was. That this is just a bag of crap I put in my closet.
Right.
Yeah.
A few people in the chat room are calling him a thief. I don't know if we can let that stand. I mean,
I
this
know.
guy-
I saw a lot of people in the
Great
comments
American
saying that he was a
hero.
thief too.
I
But
don't-
come on,
I don't think it's really a thief if
dude
you-
risked his life.
That dude went to space. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he could do anything he wants at this point. It's
No,
like,
is he the guy who punched someone on the jaw? for
No,
saying
that's
the-
Buzz Aldrin.
That's
Buzz.
Buzz. You don't tell Buzz that the moon landing was
mighty
fake.
Okay,
Buzz
so
Aldrin.
send Buzz after these people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you never
guys.
say moon landing's faked around real astronauts, or they'll
Yeah.
beat you up. Yeah, no, I don't think he's a thief. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's work stuff, so you can take it home.
Oh come on,
It's
it's
like
just like
paperclip.
We'll pretend you
yeah,
didn't
it's
just say
paper
that.
clips, post-it notes.
They never profited from it.
Yeah.
It was in his closet. Now it's in a museum.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
it's
everyone-
funny.
everyone
belongs in a
wins.
museum.
Well, now it's a museum worthy, but back then it was probably just junk. I mean, when Star Wars was shot, almost all the set was just thrown out in the dumpster. And then if you were smart enough in the 70s and worked on Star Wars and grabbed that stuff out of the dumpster, you can sell it for, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But back then it was just set pieces to a movie they didn't think would do anything.
My uncle said he knew it would be a huge hit. I mean, I know people probably say that all the time, but
Right.
he said it was the first sci-fi movie he'd seen that really looked like sci-fi, where things were really gritty.
Right.
Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to throw
No,
off your...
no, sorry.
No,
I
that's
didn't
a-
mean
that's
to-
a good
I
transition.
didn't mean
We were
to
gonna
spin it into Star Wars instantly.
Yeah, we were going
without-
to talk about Star
I
Wars
know, but-
anyway.
But I did want to talk about the other astronaut news because I did write a story about the astronauts that were posing as Jedi
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
next mission. And this kind of revealed something that most NASA fans already know, is that for each mission, the astronauts have been posing as different movies, like different sci-fi and fantasy and cult classic movies for each mission. So this one was Star Wars, but they've done Star Trek, they've done Indiana Jones, they've done Reservoir Dogs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Please tell me they've
like-
not done Batman and Robin.
The woman was wearing a command shirt.
Hitchhiker's,
there.
yeah, the
I like it.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is one of my favorites, just because they have every once in a while they have their robot cameo as well. But Metropolis was a weird one. I'm not sure why you would
I don't
do
think I've
that.
seen
I
that
don't
one.
even see Superman in
Oh,
there.
I like the Tron one.
Yeah, the Tron one's pretty cool. I mean, it's interesting. I loved the Star Wars. That's the most recent one. So the Star Wars one's for the upcoming mission. But it's just fun to go back and see all these. And the Matrix one's great because they totally look like they look like a great band. I mean, there's the Reservoir Dogs one. They did
Some of
Abbey,
these don't make sense.
Abbey
like Reservoir
Road.
Dogs.
Abbey, I know, right? Abbey Road.
These should just all be space movies.
Well, there's some, yeah, they did Pirates of the Caribbean, which is hilarious because they really do look like pirates. Yeah, there you go. I mean, people are having fun with Photoshop for sure, but
Yeah,
it's
a big
one of those
Photoshop.
things where it's nice to see astronauts in NASA have a sense of humor. I mean, they do already, and they're already cool astronauts, and this just kind of drives it home. And then there was another astronaut. He had taken his official
I
photo,
love this.
and it was with his dogs,
Yeah.
which I love this picture so much. And it's actually not from this year. It's from a couple years ago, but a journalist saw it and tweeted it at, of course, the astronaut, and he retweeted it, and it became a viral sensation just a couple weeks ago or a few weeks ago. But it's not his current NASA photo, but it didn't matter. It was just so
Awesome.
great that there were dogs in it, and it's just like, yeah, I could see dogs going on a mission. They probably won't because the original dogs that went on missions didn't always come back. But anyway, the point being,
Way to go there,
astronauts.
Downer.
The point being is that astronauts are cool.
Yes,
and
they are.
they like stuff that we like, and they have
Have they done a
dogs.
poster of Ice Pirates yet? Because that should be the
Oh,
next one.
I don't know. Like, I just kept thinking of all the movies that
Time
would be
Bandits.
perfect.
The
Time
Black
Bandits, yeah, but you have to be careful. You don't want to pick a movie where astronauts die.
Hole. Okay,
You
so
never
probably
wanna-
not Event Horizon.
Not Event
No.
Horizon.
Yeah.
That's the blood.
Not Gravity. You gotta be
I
careful.
like the idea. I like the idea that this might be like in your astronaut's contract. You're going to spend 6 months commanding the International Space Station, and you're going to be Obi-Wan. Just
Yeah,
for a
I
day.
mean, I think it was interesting that it took them this long to do a Star Wars one. I mean, they had done every movie until Star Wars, but maybe they were afraid of getting a cease and desist from George Lucas. I don't know, but it's pretty awesome. And I think I mean I did an article about it, but if you go on StarWars.com, I think they interview one of the astronauts that's
nice.
going on the mission that actually did pose for the poster. But they're pretty cool, and you can download them off the NASA site in high res and print them out and put them on your wall. So you can have these posters too to decorate your home or locker
I
or
do need
whatever.
to decorate.
Yeah, there you go.
I do want to think astronauts love their jobs. You know, you don't
Oh my
want to think
God.
they're
They
like.
do not.
I guess
Have
I'm an
to.
astronaut. It's okay. And then
Yeah.
the hours are tough. But
Yeah.
No, they should
The
love it.
commute-
I mean,
It's kind of
it's-
a pain.
The computer's a pain.
I
I
can
mean, that's
deal.
the thing too. Is a lot of times when these astronauts are no longer on space missions, they do a lot of stuff with education. They go to schools.
That's Gifford
They
too,
try
right?
to help with STEM. Yeah, I mean, they really look at that. Look how great they are. even the badge that they do for each mission is cool.
Oh yeah.
All the collectible badges. So anyway, I just had to
What-
bring it up.
I really want to know what's the deal with these Star Wars cruises. What goes
Oh,
on
yeah.
a Star Wars cruise?
So okay,
It's a
so this is
trap.
the deal. They're not what you think they are. Okay, they're oh god, they're not what you think they are. They're not an entire cruise full of like Jawas and Ewoks and stormtroopers and Vader. They're every single day.
Dancing
what
girls?
it is that there's only going to be a select
Blue
amount
dancing
of
girls?
these Caribbean cruises for Disney Cruise Line, and it's 1 day per cruise vacation package. That's going to be called Star Wars Day. But the cool thing with that is you can watch all. They're going to show all the movies outside, so you can see them on the water with like the stars in the sky, and that's kind of cool. Vader's gonna be wandering around. I know, right? There's so many jokes to be had on this. It's so great. Vader's wandering around. There's gonna be stormtroopers. I believe some celebrities will be there that they haven't announced who yet. And then there's a bunch of activities for the kids. They'll have Jedi training like they do with the Jedi Academy training at Disney for Star Wars weekends. I mean, it's kind of like Star Wars weekends from Disney, but on a boat. But it's only 1 day per cruise.
Oh man, I'm just so seeing the video of Darth
I
Vader singing
know.
"I'm on a boat."
I know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I know they're probably gonna do some sort of dancing karaoke number that's gonna be painful to watch. But I
They should
cannot
have a thing where you
wait.
get to launch like a Jar Jar mannequin off
I don't
the side of
know.
the
They're
boat.
gonna have fireworks. I don't know if they're gonna explode Ewoks or I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. But the promo pictures
Things
are great.
operational.
Chewbacca will be on board, so that's
Oh man,
a Wookiee on the ocean. I mean, come on.
Sweating like a.
yeah, I was gonna
Look at
say.
him.
it's
Look at
like,
him.
Damn.
Going off the high dive.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you.
Gonna do a triple Lindy.
From past experience from working at Lucasfilm, that they give the guys who play Chewbacca, they give him lots of breaks.
What do you mean the guys who play Chewbacca?
The guy
It's
that
not
they,
the real Chewbacca.
Peter Mayhew's busy doing real movies. He's busy doing real.
Don't say
conventions.
Chewbacca's not real.
He's real. There's more than one Wookiee, you know.
Oh, okay. So there's, like,
Anyway, so I'm
assistants.
excited for this. This is the first time Disney's done a cruise where there's a Star Wars element. So I'm pretty excited. I don't know if I'm going to go, but it's pretty awesome. I can't wait for all the viral videos to start popping up on YouTube.
Like all the blue milk you can drink.
I'm just a little worried there'll be some C6 stormtroopers, and that's not the video I want to see. But take the bucket off first.
You're worried they'll miss.
Yeah, I don't know. But there's been a lot of Star Wars news lately, so that's one of the things I was excited about was the cruise.
And another one, how are there? You wrote about how there's 32 new Star Wars Lego
Lego
sets.
sets.
And
How
they're
are there
amazing.
32?
Okay, so here's the thing.
What have they
There's
not made?
32 sets coming out that span all the movies and Star Wars Rebels, which is obviously the new Disney animated series, and Clone Wars, which was the old Cartoon Network series, and they haven't even announced the Force Awakens sets yet. So this is the stuff that they showed at Toy Fair that Hasbro gave us. It's a lot. It's not all 32. They didn't reveal all 32 pictures. So people that are snarky in the comments saying, why is there only 12 pictures for 32? They didn't reveal them all. But they're so cute. Look at them. Look at that little ad. It's so cute.
So I looked at the poster of the minifigs. Their Jabba the Hutt actually has the slave chain.
Yeah.
So this has got to be the first Lego minifig with a
Yeah.
slave chain. I just wanted to point that out.
And I will point out, I will point out there is a
Didn't
Jar
the slave
Jar.
Leia have one?
There is a Jar Jar minifig. I will point that out for the 2 people that like Jar Jar. But the big news.
shame
And
on
those
you.
are the new figures.
They
They're
look
called
pretty good.
they're called I think they're called Connects or Connect. I can't
So you
remember.
could probably
Is
like
he
disconnect
cyborg?
their legs or
contraction. They're
something.
called contraction sets, and they look really weird, but they're kind of cool looking.
So what do they look like when they're fully dilated?
I don't know, but I will tell you. Oh, that's funny. It also came with a Lego poster that was like the ABCs
That
of
is
Lego
awesome.
minifigs,
I
which is
love
very
that.
very cute.
I
And
will put
that's-
that on my son's wall.
That is downloadable.
I'll put that on my wall.
So you can download it from our site or from Hasbro's site. But I will say the big thing that's cool is the TIE Fighter. And I think I led the there you go.
That's like your image.
That is awesome.
That they've done Lego TIE Fighters before, but this one comes with a display stand. It's much more intricate, and it's pretty freaking expensive. And it's in the thousands of pieces, so it's gonna take you forever to put together.
Does it make the pew 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 sounds?
How big is it?
I don't know.
It's pretty big, huh?
It says in there somewhere. I can't.
Yeah,
I
because
can't
the
remember.
figure down there looks pretty small.
I didn't remember. Yeah, it comes with a little minifig.
It says about a foot.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
pretty big. I mean, I have all the TIE Fighter sets from Hasbro in my apartment already, and I'm getting this one because it's pretty detailed. But the point is, start saving your money, or just wait for your tax refund and just give it directly to Hasbro, because
Or find a sugar
some
daddy.
of these sets are expensive and some of them are a little bit cheaper in the price range. And if you don't want the Lego sets, you can get the brand new Hasbro lightsabers, where you could build
Oh,
all
yeah.
the crazy lightsabers, so you can
Oh,
make
yeah.
fun of
Make
the
your cocktail fork.
you can make a lightsaber trident. You can make a lightsaber. I don't know. You could just make the type of lightsaber that will kill you the minute you try to ignite it.
Pretty much any of them, really.
Speaking of mods, can we look at the bass? The Rebel bass?
Oh, yeah.
Where's
oh,
that?
yeah,
Is that-
the
is that in
Millennium,
the
it's
guitar?
a Millennium Falcon guitar.
It's on the list.
There's,
Oh, okay.
There's
okay,
two of
gotcha.
them. There's the Han Solo Millennium Falcon guitar, and then there's the Rebel bass, which is, I think that's hilarious. These are for sale. They are for sale on Etsy. They're custom. You can even get a custom made what's the word, case for it. They light up. They're made from vintage Millennium Falcon toys.
Nice.
And they added blue lights as well. So it's not just the light up part of the toy that it originally came with, but they added LED blue lights. And I interviewed the creator of these guitars on Scene at Crave, and you can check him out there. But he says they play fine, just like a normal guitar. You just have to know how to, play one well. But I
Nice.
love it. I think it's great.
I would not mind one.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Now we know why we have no interest in going to Mars, because there's too many great space toys here at home. I mean, what's the point?
Oh, incidentally, on Twitter, I've lost the page. Oh, Tyler G. Green comments that none of the people want to die on Mars. They want to live on Mars. Fair point.
Ah.
Oh,
Indeed.
an optimist.
Well, hey, while we've got Michelle on the line, all the way from Australia, and we woke her up at like 7 a.m. to get her on here, we wanted to hear a little bit more about a story that's been doing gangbusters on Crave that you wrote, Michelle, about this mummified monk
God,
that was
yeah.
found
Oh,
inside the Buddha. What's this story?
Okay, so it's this statue of the Buddha, and a bunch of guys CT scanned it last year, and they found this mummified monk inside. They think he's around 900 to 1,000 years old, and yeah, he's just stuffed inside this statue.
How big is the statue, or is this a really tiny monk?
It's person-sized.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, there's a picture of it.
I don't know.
CT
People,
scan.
it's
people
not
were
a
short.
homunculus,
People were
is what you're
short back
saying.
then. They were shorter back then. I'm just saying.
Poor
Who
guy.
got the idea to do a CT scan on the Golden Buddha in the first place?
That was the
Was
first
it a
question
rumor or something?
We asked, like, were its eyes following people around the room?
Well, you can see the base of it is cut away, so I don't know if it was like that and they sort of looked inside and saw it had something inside, or if they just thought that there was something a bit strange about it. I don't actually know that. So,
And they found something.
Yeah.
They didn't just find a body, too. They found something about the body.
yeah, they found these scraps of paper inside where the organs should be with Chinese writing on it. I don't know what the writing says either. They didn't actually
IOU.
elaborate. Presumably, you have to go to the museum to check that out.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It's
that's
probably
sneaky of
like a
them.
trophy for best hide and seek
Yeah.
guy And the monastery.
Back in 5 minutes.
Right. Oh, God. This is such a great story, though. I love this. I hope that they start doing more CT scans of everything.
Yeah, but
This is
apparently
great.
there's a mummification practice in Buddhism of this area where well, she talks about it. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
I love how Kelsey's trying to keep us on point.
Hey, Michelle dialed in from Australia. This is a rare occasion.
Yeah, tell us more, Michelle.
Well, it's self mummification. So they go through this period where they go on this diet of nuts and seeds, and then they go on this diet of bark and this sap that they normally use for lacquering plates, and then they'll sort of be sealed into a tomb for 1,000 days. And if at the end of the 1,000 days of being sealed in the tomb they've been mummified, then they become a sort of a living Buddha, or they're basically worshipped in a temple as a living Buddha. I'm not entirely sure that this guy was a living Buddha, because he did have his organs removed and stuff put inside him, but he could have been, I don't know. But yeah, it was this practice. It was outlawed, I think, in the 19th century. They sort of made it illegal to do this because, for obvious reasons. But those who achieved it were sort of put in the temples and put on display, and people would go in and worship them or venerate them. I don't know if worship's the right word. And those who didn't were just sort of left sealed in the tomb, but with respect for their attempt, for their endurance in sort of going through this 2,000-day horrible deprivation to try to turn themselves into these living Buddhas.
Yeah, actually trying to lacquer your insides practically is that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's hardcore. That's impressive.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, some of us do that every weekend, but
My favorite part of the story, I think, is that Michelle seems to be becoming our own in-house Indiana Jones in
You
charge of
are.
these
Yeah.
archaeological
You totally are.
expeditions.
The
You had
teeth.
another one, the teeth in the Mexican statue.
Yeah.
It was a
Oh,
Jesus
Jesus
statue,
teeth.
right? Yeah.
Jesus teeth, yeah. They found 8 human teeth in this statue of Christ.
yeah, that's
Quite
not
a big statue
creepy.
by itself.
That is not creepy at all. Nope.
No, it's super creepy.
But Jesus Teeth is a good name for a band.
Yeah. So what kind of teeth were they? Human teeth? Like what kind of teeth
Yeah,
were
they're
they?
human.
Yeah, human teeth.
Wow.
I mean, it's a what's the word? It's reverent. It seems creepy to us, but it's intended reverently.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about both of these cases is that they seem unique. Like, there is no other statue in which they've found human teeth, a religious statue, and there's no other Buddha statue in which they found a mummy. So,
But have they checked? Have they really checked?
Yeah, they really checked. I feel like now everyone's going to be checking their, resident mummified whatever in every museum to see if there's
You're gonna
something
be
inside
popping
it.
them off
and-
their bases. And,
I know.
Yeah.
Imagine being in an Asian art museum at night and looking around and just they're all people in there.
Oh.
There's a thought to take home with you.
Oh, like the terracotta warriors? Oh
my God.
Oh.
Yeah, that guy was crazy. The emperor who did all that was crazy. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't actually surprise
I
me.
don't know. I kind of miss that. I kind of feel like we don't have that. I mean, the closest thing we have to
Mass murder? We totally do.
No,
We totally
I mean,
do.
No,
But with an
no,
artistic touch.
No, I mean, like, warlike leaders that have kind of a crazy side, like Putin, I guess.
Huge monuments.
Yeah.
Yeah, North Korea, I guess. But
North
for
Korea,
us, we don't really have that.
Kind of like
we don't
death
have,
plus Etsy.
we don't have death cray cray over here like they did back in the day. I don't know.
Not like they had back in the day. No.
I don't know. I guess I'm being nostalgic for a time we should never be nostalgic
Hey, back
for.
when I was a kid.
We don't have any Vlad the Impaler. We don't. I
There's
don't
some
know.
guys trying to bring that back right
I mean,
now.
the closest thing we
You're
have.
the
right,
NFL.
I guess the closest thing we have right now is the head of the NSA. His picture has gone viral because there's this picture of him kind of looking like a Star Wars character or something, where he's just screaming into the microphone about how the NSA doesn't really spy on us when we all know they do. And so now everyone's saying that instead of every time a journalist posts some sort of stock photo of some creepy guy at a computer to show a hacker, to show,
should do that.
they should just show this guy that's the head of NSA screaming into a microphone, because it's even creepier that he's
I'm getting
trying to convince us.
Getting a message in my ear, Bonnie, that is not correct. The NSA does not spy on us.
Oh, right.
Cut
Sorry.
the tape, back it up, go back to
Sorry.
start.
I know.
Well, we're about out of time, but I know we've all got some interesting stuff that we're working on that we wanted to tease the folks with. I know, Kelsey, you were working on some stuff about The Flash. Is that right?
Oh yeah, well, who isn't?
Ooh.
Oh, look, my shirt.
Nice.
So can I tell you how many people just grin at me when I walk down the street wearing this thing? Like, there are a lot of us. There are a lot of us out there. People
Yeah.
obsessed with the Flash. The next episode is not going to be for basically another month, and I don't know how I'm going to get through it.
Oh man.
But some of that will be therapy by posting blog posts, probably.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all for me.
I think you're also going to do a gallery, right? I've been requesting a gallery of certain images.
I've
from Flash.
taken a lot of screenshots, but I'm not sure they're really appropriate.
All right. Just send them. Just send them to me directly. That's totally fine. Yeah.
Dropbox.
I'm working on a story about the Godzilla Hotel. That is hilarious. Of an actual hotel that you can have a room that looks like Godzilla's peeking in it. I think that's great. I love this idea. I'm a huge Godzilla fan, and
Where is it?
It's in. I think it's in Tokyo. I'm not too sure. I'll find out. It's in Japan. I know that much. But we'll see. We'll see. The thing is, and when you're a big Godzilla fan and you go to Tokyo and you want to go to the Godzilla statue, and then you actually go to the Godzilla statue, it's not Godzilla sized. It's like tiny, and so you're kind of let down.
Like
You're let
demi-Godzilla.
down. Yeah, it's like a little. It's like Scrappy Doo Godzilla.
Oh.
You know, it's just tiny.
That's just unnecessarily
I
harsh,
know. If you're
think.
gonna have
Godzilla-chan.
if you're gonna have an iconic monster represent your country, it should be full size. So I'm excited for this hotel. This is gonna be the closest thing I get to retribution for having to take that trip to the Godzilla statue.
I just found Godzilla hostels in Russia. If you're interested.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Godzilla
Whoa.
hostels.
All kinds of weird stuff happens.
I don't think.
Why are they so
what?
bad?
In Russia? Oh, that doesn't look very
Well,
Godzilla-y.
yeah, not really.
Okay.
It's
But,
on a budget. Godzilla on a budget.
You don't know how Godzilla decorates his place.
I don't know. I mean, it looks kind of
I mean,
cozy.
I'm assuming. Does he invite you over?
Doesn't invite me over.
He doesn't
no.
return my calls.
No.
Maybe they have an actual Godzilla and you're sleeping and then Godzilla breaks through the window. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they film it and they sell it on cable.
Well, I
think
mean,
it's fun.
here's the thing: when you go to Japan, there's always a weird hotel. Like there's the robot hotel that's supposed to be.
Oh, I
want
want to go to that.
And I wrote an article about it, but they didn't reveal what the robots look like. So I don't know how like humanoid the robots will be that are running this hotel in Japan. That's all robot run, all of it. So when you check in, the robots check you in. The entire maid
But they
service.
don't check out.
Here, I
You
found
don't
some.
check in. The maid service is all
found
robots.
some.
Yeah, that's not them.
This
no,
isn't
no,
it?
no. That's prototypes. That's them pretending. That's like, hey, this could be it.
That's how
It's
they're
not
getting
them.
people interested in it.
That's it. Oh, we lost Eric. That's how excited he was about the.
He's
So,
booking
be right
a
back.
room now.
Here's the thing: when you're trying to get investor money, sometimes you Photoshop photos
No.
that don't look like the real thing, and so
Yeah,
they don't
it's
have
like
the
a
real.
prospectus or something. Right?
Yeah, they don't have the real robots.
Like game trailers.
yeah. It's, oh.
What?
So sad. But anyway, my point being is Japan has great hotels, and I can't wait to visit Godzilla. The end.
What,
Eric's back.
Eric's back.
hey, what's Michelle working on? Are we hear from Michelle?
Hi. I recently interviewed the director of the Giant Magellan Telescope Foundation, so I will be writing that up soon. That's going to be the world's biggest telescope. They're hoping to have it up and running by 2020, and using it, they're going to look for the beginning of time.
Oh wow.
If there's not a
I'm
TARDIS,
pretty excited about
there
it.
better be a TARDIS
cool.
there. If there's not a TARDIS at the beginning of time, everything I know about Doctor Who will be ruined.
Say giant space telescope.
Yeah,
Just say it.
I know. I'm excited for this. Thank you for keeping us legit.
Well, I've got one last space-related teaser as well. It's kind of related to what Michelle's working on. I recently spoke with an astronomer who's actually out of Puerto Rico, and he gave me his prediction, including a pretty hard date for when we might be able to confirm the existence of the first habitable planet. Like right now, we have these potentially habitable planets that are like the right size and in the right vicinity to their sun. But this guy actually has a time frame for when he thinks we'll confirm that the right conditions for life exist on another planet. Ooh. And perhaps even when we confirm the existence of life on such a planet, and it's not that far away.
Sadly, it will be 2 days after the colonists die on Mars. So
Yeah.
Yes.
this is tragic.
Oh,
Sorry.
timing. Yeah.
So anyway, look for that later on.
I do want to say really quickly the crop circle towels that I wrote about. They did reach their funding on Kickstarter. So if you did fund some of those that I wrote about, and they're great. They're just green towels that look like crop circles that you see on farms, and they're just a design on towels. They reached their funding, so you can get these awesome towels now. And you can still, I think there's like 10 days left. So if you want to buy some, now's the time to do it. But they're pretty awesome. I just love this idea that they look like crop
Well,
circles.
the best thing to do is to buy some matching regular green towels, give them to your friend as a gift, and then sneak in sometime when they're not looking and swap them.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love that. I like that you're already thinking of crop circle
I might have
pranks
thought a
with
little too
towels.
much about this.
No, it's brilliant. I love it.
Genius.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, you guys. I think that's all the time we've got for this CraveCast. We'll be back next month. As always, check out all the stories we've talked about and ones upcoming at cnet.com/crave. You can always tweet at us at Crave to let us know what you'd like us to talk about in a future CraveCast. For Stephen Beecham, Bonnie Burton, Kelsey Adams, Jeff Sparkman, and in Australia, Michelle Starr at 7:45 a.m. I'm Eric Mack. This has been the CraveCast. See you next time.